Hi, this is Justice, and this is my Health 250 unit lesson plan, or mini lesson plan, I guess. My unit is on smart eating. My lesson title is The Right Pour. Um, it's geared for fifth graders. Would assume the time you would need to do this lesson is 25 minutes, just because there's a lot of pouring and measuring and discussion. Like I said, it's created by me. Let's see. The goal of this lesson is to teach students the appropriate amount of food and drink that go into the label's serving size, and to get students to understand if they're consuming too much or too little. Most of the time, it is too much, however. The lesson objective is to pour various amounts of cereals into a bowl and then pour milk into an unlabeled cup before pouring milk into the cereal. We will also be pouring soda into an unlabeled cup, and we'll be pouring M&Ms into an unlabeled serving cup. The skills that will hopefully be acquired after performing this task is accurate servings poured and understanding a serving size. How I plan to assess this is each student will explain why they had poured that amount of the item into their bowl or dish, and then explain how their serving compares to the actual serving size. So in essence, what I'm trying to do is get them to explain to me why they poured the amount of cereal they poured into their bowl and why they poured the amount of milk into their bowl. For example, I have a pretty big bowl that I'll pour a lot of cereal into on like Sunday mornings when I wake up and I'm about to go to the gym. I'll kind of just dump some cereal in there and then I'll just pour some milk over it. I don't actually measure out the serving, and I know it's way more than one serving, and it's probably more than two. But because I didn't accurately measure it, I don't have a clue what the actual serving size is. So I would like to figure out why kids pour what they pour and have them explain it to me. The standard of learning for this unit would be VASOL 5.5C, which is explain the effective portion size on recommended daily intake. Materials needed would be multiple types of cereal. We want to have a variety for kids who may say, oh, I don't like this one or I don't like that one. Milk, M&Ms, bowls, measuring cups, unlabeled cups, and soda. This unit would not require any technology except maybe a PowerPoint if one were to be created as a review for serving sizes and recommended daily allowances. How the lesson should flow. We would go over the labels again, seeing how this would have been done in a previous class. So students would have learned about nutrition labels and serving sizes. So we would review where to find the labels on a package and what the serving size means to the product. The first step in the lesson for today would be each student gets a bowl and an unlabeled cup, and they're allowed to pour as much cereal and milk as they want into those. And then we would measure it against the amount that the serving size recommends. After we've done that, we will compare the amounts poured to the food label and discuss how we came to this decision. So this goes back to my assessment. I would want to know why the kids poured what they did and why they thought this would be the appropriate serving size. We would move on to the next step where we would do the same with M&Ms, and then we would do the same with soda. We will pour M&Ms into a serving dish, compare it to the actual serving size, explain why we did what we did, and then we would pour soda into a cup and then measure it against the serving size and explain why we poured how we poured. For the closure, we will discuss how plate size and cup size and bowl size can be very deceiving when it comes to eating. And just because the utensil is empty, it doesn't mean it has to be filled. And we would discuss how portion control is very key to great nutritional habits. A modification we can make is instead of letting the students pour what they feel like is a good amount to eat, tell them to pour what they believe is just one serving and see how that marks up to the serving size. And then in extension, we could do a full breakfast. We could see how much butter they put on toast, how much cereal they pour in a bowl with milk, and if they have juice, how much juice they pour into a cup. And like I said, it would go back to the assessment, ask them why they did what they did, and get them to understand that just because you've got a full glass doesn't mean the glass needs to be completely full. Thank you. This was my mini lesson.